everyone, Anne from Glamour for You. I'm going to show you in this video how to make cable stitches. Cables are very easy once you get the hang of them. They're not hard at all. In my sample, I'm working in rows. So when you work in rows, you'll have a right side and a wrong side. So your cables will should always be on the right side of the item you're working on. So the right side, you will have front post stitches. When you turn to the wrong side, you will have back post stitches. All cables are worked with post stitches. If you're working in the round, you will not have to worry about back posts because you'll just be continuing around and all your stitches will end up being on the right side of your work. So I've made a couple, in my sample I've made a couple cables already just to show you the twist. This one twists to the left, this one twists to the right, but usually each cable is worked in groups. I have 4 stitches in my groups here. You can work more stitches or less stitches, whatever your pattern tells you to work. And I've just made a couple double crochets in between just so they stand out so you can see them. So in my sample, I'll show you both. Basically, you're doing 2 cables, but they're opposite, and I'll show you how to do that. So I've worked a couple double crochets up until my cables. And you see 1, 2, 3, 4. They're 4 stitches. So now I'm going to be at a twist, and that's what makes this little section right here. See how the stitches are twisted. I'm going to be using triple crochets. So out of the 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to skip the first 2 and front post triple crochet around the 3rd. Then I'm going to front post triple crochet around the 4th. So 3 and 4 are worked first because we're skipping 1 and 2. Oh, I caught my yarn there. I split my yarn. Ooh. Let's try that again. Okay, so I've finished the first half of the twist. Now, in my patterns, I write front twist or back twist. This one right here is going to be a front twist because I'm going to work front post triple crochet around these 2 now that I skipped, and I'm going to be working them in the front of the 2 that I just made. So there's the first one, the second one. So I'm going to go around the first one. And sometimes it helps if you turn your work a little bit. So there's 1, stitch 1 and front post stitch 2. There's the post. Work around it. Okay, so I've made my first, let me do a couple double crochet and I'll show you. So I've made my the first one is the front twist. So the stitches are twisted. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Put your first 2 you made on your last 2 stitches, and your next 2 you made on your first 2 stitches of the group of 4. So now I'm going to go over to the other set of cables I made and show you the back twist, which is almost the same except for one difference is, so there's your 1, 2, 3, 4. There's your 4 stitches. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to, the first 2 skip the first two, work front post triples around the last two, okay. Now instead of going in front of the front post triples that I just made, I'm going to go behind. So how I do that is I get my yarn over twice, get my hook started, go behind. There's my first one and my second one that I skipped. I'm going to insert my hook around the post like you would for a normal post stitch, and then these two that I just made, I'm going to flip them forward, and then I'm going to continue my front post triple. So there's one, yarn over twice for the triple, behind the two I just made. There's the next, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's the second one I skipped. Work around the post, flip these two stitches forward so you can see, and then continue your front post triple. So then there's, let me finish this so you can see it. Okay, so those are the twists. So this was a front twist, this was a back twist, because it's where I put my hook for the skipped two stitches. So out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, I skip the first two, work the last 3 and 4, and then in front of the ones I worked, and this is behind in back of the ones I worked. So now if you're working in the round, you would continue around and come back, and you would just do normal front post DC around these in the order that they are, not this one. You're going to follow what is normally on top. So here's the next stitch, so I'm going to work a DC around that one, and then you can scooch these over, a DC around that one, and then around that, and that untwists it. So now this is the twist, and just like these stitches right here, the next set of stitches will untwist it to make it twist. But since I'm working in the sample in rows, it's going to be a back post because I have to turn my work. So now I'm going to crochet up until I get to the cables. Okay, so now I'm at the cables, so you can still see 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm gonna back post around first one, back post around the second one, back post around the third one. I'm working in normal order now, and then around the fourth one, and then normal double crochets, I'll come to my second set now. Same thing, back post in each order, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you have to move them around, move your stitches around so you can see the actual post and not get caught up, you can do that. And there's the last one, number 4. I'm going to double crochet just in these. Pull some more yarn. Okay, last one. So then when you turn to the front, there's your twisted stitches and there's your straight stitches. Now when I come back again for here, depending on the pattern, sometimes you'll make more straight stitches, just the normal stitches, to make your cables longer, or you can start again with a twist right here. So the next twist will be the same thing, where I'll skip the first 2 stitches, front post triple in the last 2, then working in front of front post in the first one skipped, the second one skipped. Come around here, do the same thing. Front post triple around the last 2 stitches, working behind front post and front post. And that's basically, that's all you have to do for cables. It's really easy. And it shows the different twists. Thanks so much for watching.